Commercial property post COVID-19, what's going to happen? Who's going to be the winners? Who's going to be the losers? Where's the opportunity? Well, firstly, whenever there's great disruption, great changes, and there's no better time than right now than the biggest changes there's ever been, there's always winners and losers, and there's always big opportunity. So right now, what are the changes? What are the big shifts happening in commercial property? Well, firstly, let's talk about rents. Well, rents across the board are obviously not going north. They're perhaps going south, stabilizing, and some of them are actually going to a base plus turnover model or a pure turnover model. There's been some deals done recently in Scotland and England that all landlord income, landlord rental has gone purely base. Now that's predominantly in the fashion kind of end of commercial property, which is I'm not a fan of, to be honest. Never been a fan of that for a long time. And why is that? Because it's not protected against the big cat, the attack by the big cat. And what is a cat? Correction, Amazon, and technology. And the correction is obviously the recession. We're in it right now. And yes, there's going to be winners and losers, but the rents across the board are going to come down. Now, what is that going to do to values? Well, obviously, as a reflection of rents, values are going to plummet. And we're seeing that already. We're seeing a rush of capital flight out the door just now. And we're seeing big portfolios coming onto the market. And they're predominantly trying to exit themselves from that retail element. At the same time, logistics are going great. Food sector is going fantastic. And build to rent is obviously very, very robust as well. But the opportunity is where the disruption is, and it always has been and always will be. As the masses go one way, as Warren Buffett says, you should always go the other way. So where is the opportunity? The great opportunity for me is in the Great Reset. Now, what is the Great Reset? The Great Reset is rents coming down and therefore capital values coming down. And if you can help recapitalize a property's value and buy in at the right money. And how's that going to happen? Well, this is what's going to transpire going forward. Here's a big prediction. After furlough ends and we get into the end of Q1, beginning of Q2, then what we will see is business rates coming back on stream. We've had a year off business rates. They're going to come back on stream. We're going to have VAT that was deferred from Q1, Q2 2020. It's going to be repaid in Q1, Q2 2021. We're going to have CBILS, bounce back loans, all having to be repaid at the commencement of Q2 2021. So we've got a tsunami of events that's going to create an absolute cash flow chaos coming down the road, and which will, what is that going to lead to? What's going to happen? What's the kind of ramifications of that? Well, very simply, a lot of businesses just won't make it, unfortunately. And a lot of assets, there are a lot of businesses with commercial property assets that are going to trigger banking covenant breaches. And as a result of that, then there's going to be a lot of assets coming back onto the market. Now that gives a big opportunity. It's unfortunate, it's life cycles. As we have forest fires to weed out the old and the new comes in, it's just part of the cycle of banking and macroeconomic forces. So where's the opportunity? The opportunity is to buying in at recapitalizing the base cost of your commercial property so that you can accommodate the new rent levels that are coming in, whether that be a fixed rent or whether that be a base plus turnover. And obviously that is depending on the sectors that you're in. So you really got to pick your sectors incredibly carefully, because your sector is depending on what kind of rent model that's going to be going forward. And very much, as an export from the US, we're going to have more and more turnover-based models. So if you have a turnover-based model, then obviously you have to recapitalize the value which you're buying into that capital, to that commercial property. And that for me is the Great Reset. The Great Reset is going to come from Q4 all the way through next year and ongoing. And I think this period is just going to be known as the new Roaring 20s. There's going to be phenomenal opportunity. We are seeing deals right now that, double and triples on value on day one. So on day one of purchase, for every £100 you're buying, purchase price, these deals are coming in at £200, £300 on day of purchase. Now, why is that? Because we're packaging up tenants to go into the distressed commercial property at the same time. So you're buying kind of wholesale, you're buying from Walmart, you're packaging a tenant in there, and you're getting that yield compression, that forced capital appreciation. Now's the time to learn commercial. Now's the time to understand the creative commercial property strategies. Now's the time to really dive in and collapse time and get that accelerated immersion of learning of the strategies so you can take advantage of the great reset in the new roaring 20s to come.